Hi, it's Nancy, and today I want to talk about teams. So there's a lot of questions around teams and how they work and how they're structured. And let me give you some answers today, and maybe you have some more questions that I could answer if you contact me after this video or put questions in the comments section. So why would a real estate agent want a team? And usually it's one of two things. They've gotten in the business, they've stayed fast on the business, they've worked very hard, and now they have more business than they know what to do with. They literally have more business than they can handle on their own. So they either hire an assistant or they hire another team member. Now, a lot of teams are husband and wife teams where the husband gets in and is doing very well and they pull the wife in. And then they start forming other members of the team. Or the wife gets in and pulls the husband in because she's doing so well that she needs a helper. So sometimes that's how a team forms in the beginning, is the husband and wife get together and form a team. And we think of those as partners, but then they start growing even beyond themselves and start bringing in other team members. And we have a lot of that right now because our agents have a lot of good systems and the market is very good. What happens when the market goes the other way is people start reducing the size of their teams. But for right now, teams are very popular, and many of our agents have more business than they know what to do with. And in the South, we say more than they can shake a stick at, which means more than they know what to do with. So why would an agent want to start a team? That's why. When the market's good, it's great. It gives them leverage. They can do more business if they have team members, and it gives them coverage so they can take very good care of the customers that they are bringing in, because that's how you keep your reputation up, is taking good care of people. So when I had a team, I first hired an assistant, and then I started hiring buyer agents, and that's the way most of the agents that I knew back in the early 2000s, that's what they were doing, or the late 90s, that's what they were doing. So they hire buyer agents, and the team leader would normally be the listing agent. But then other hybrids started happening of teams in the market. But that was the most common when I had a team in the beginning, in the late 90s, is that you had an assistant, a buyer agent, maybe 2-3 buyer agents, and you were the listing king or queen. You knew how to go get the listings, and people were calling you to do that because you had good systems and you were organized. So that's the way it started out back when I was selling real estate. Why would a good agent want to join a team is what I get. Should I join that team? They're asking me if I want to join their team. Well, if a good team, a very productive team, is asking an agent to join their team, that's a very nice compliment, actually. So they're organized, they know what they're doing. The advantage to joining a team, especially if you're new in real estate or fairly new in real estate, is that they're already doing all the marketing that's bringing in all that business. One of the hardest things to do when you're brand new is get established where that's happening for you. And so you can either buy leads but figure out a way to do it really quickly, or you can join a team. Now, when you join a team, it should be a commitment for a period of time, because it's not fair for the team leaders to train you and then you learn how to sell real estate and then you're out the door. It's not a good idea. So you need to give them some sort of a timeline. Also, a written agreement is in order, and the written agreement should say what your split is going to be, because you're going to have a split with your broker and you're going to have a split with a team. So it's different for teams. So you won't make as much money out of each commission check, but you'll have a lot more commission checks because that team knows what they're doing. So if you're going to join a team, make sure they do know what they're doing. We do see some people try to be a team leader and they're not ready to be a team leader yet because they haven't created enough business to come in the door that's coming at them. So they just sort of like want it so they don't have to work as hard. But you got to have business coming in the door before you can service a team member well and give them enough business to keep them happy. We don't want 2 people going down at one time. So you have to learn how to bring in more business than you know how to handle, and then start hiring people. And then we know that a lot of people hire wrong. They hire people who approach them, like either they approach a person, the team leader approaches a person to get on the team, and there's not enough thought that goes into, is this the right person to be on this team? Or is this the team I really want to associate myself with? So there's things to look for when you're joining a team or when you're hiring a team member, and we can help you with that too. What are the commission splits? They're all over the map. I'm going to tell you, when we did it, it was 50-50 splits with the agent, but the agent still had a split with their broker, or with our broker. So it is all over the map. There's all kinds of different agreements that are out there. Another type of agreement, a hybrid agreement, is called a showing agent. You just have showing agents. And showing agents just go out and show properties. So they don't really make as much money as a good full buyer agent. So they're just showing agents. Some people start out with having an assistant who does administrative work and also goes and shows property on the side. That usually ends in disaster for many reasons. One is that the administrator who you're paying an hourly wage to, which is not usually very large, gets a big fat commission check and says, oh, I don't want to be an administrator anymore. I want to go sell real estate, and off they go because they're not doing administrative work anymore. And it leaves the agent hanging, the team leader, it leaves them hanging. So that's not a good recommendation either. If you're going to hire an administrative person, probably good to have them be an administrative person. If you're going to hire a buyer agent, it's probably good to have them be a buyer agent. If you hire people, another twist that I've seen is where the listing agent only wants to list properties above a certain price range, so they'll have team members who handle either other areas or lower price points for them and still is on the team. The team member still gets the benefit of the team leader's marketing under that umbrella. So a lot of agents who are buyer agents on teams aren't appreciative of what the lead agent is doing money-wise to bring in those leads, and a lot of team leaders aren't appreciative when the buyer agent wants a day off and says, I don't want to work today. Yes, but I have a buyer here. You got to work. So there can be push and pulls throughout the lifetime of team members. However, in our company, we have seen teams do so well with team members that they last 11 or 12 years on a team. And that's a beautiful compliment to both parties on the team member and the team leader. So that's some of the things that we've seen. Advantages of a team. I gave you some of the advantages. Disadvantages of a team. If the team is chaotic, it can be chaotic for the team members. If the team leader is chaotic and not organized, it can play havoc for a very responsible team member who just wants a steady flow of buyers to work with, or lower end listings to work with, or whatever it is that they've agreed upon. So, but your agreement, we always tell our agents, have your agreement in writing, turn it into your brokers, and in that agreement have an exit strategy. And what I mean by an exit strategy is that when you part ways, so that you can do it amicably, and there's no room for doubt about who gets what, have it in writing. Have it in writing who the buyers belong to. Do they go with the team member who sold them the home? Do they stay with the team? Who's going to follow up with those people? Whose future business is that? Those kinds of things. If there are deals pending, what are the splits on those deals? If there's buyers in the wings that you haven't worked with yet, but you've been following up with as a team member, who gets those? Does that belong to the team or the team member, the team leader or the team member? Those are questions that need to get answered. Another thing that we've seen is that some team leaders want all the credit for all of the volume to go under their name. And the reason they want that is because they want big awards, either through the local board or through their franchise or through their broker. They want to be the top producer, so they use all of the volume in all of their team members. I've had a team of 7 people before with my sales partner. I've had a team of 14 people when the market was at its height, back in 2005, 2006. But we had all of our agents on our teams kept their own volume so that they could get their own awards. But different teams work different ways. It's whatever you decide to do as a team leader and a team member. have a contract that's in writing and signed, and always an exit strategy with that. So every team is unique, and there's many hybrids to it. If you have your agreement in writing, that is the very best thing you can do. And from that, for right now, teams are very hot, and they can do a very good job, sort of like we talk about being a one-stop shop for customers. Well, this is sometimes gives customers very good care. So we had a listing coordinator that was a full-time administrative person, great lady. We had a closing coordinator who was a full-time closing person, great lady. That took a load off of us as team leaders so that we could just go out and list properties all day long, and we prospected. Oh, one more thing that sometimes teams do, they have an inside sales agent or 2 or 3, and the inside sales agents sit at the desk all day long and prospect for the team leader. So they're making calls all day long, maybe circle prospecting, calling sellers with high scores in Remind or whatever. So you can actually have a team on your team calling for you as a team leader every day, looking for leads for listings, and then following up with those people. The key is in the follow-up. Following up with the people that said, maybe I want to sell my house in 6 months, and so you just keep in touch with them. So in ISAs, they call them, there's ISAs on teams that do just that all day long. So that's another twist on a team. A team is actually every agent who comes to work for a real estate company does own their own business. They are in business for themselves. Teams are just a bigger version of that they're in business for themselves. So that the other thing is you got to do is, well, where am I going to put them? Well, no, people are working out of their house nowadays. That's not really much of a problem anymore because everybody's used to working out of their home. So there's technology that can help you keep your staff accountable for that. And I will say that teams are great. I loved having a team. It made my life easier. And well, sometimes it made it a little harder, but to hire right for your team is critical. If you hire right going in, we suggest that if you're really going to hire, that you put an ad out and interview. Don't hire the agent that walked down the hall. They may be good for your team, but they could be the worst person you could ever put on your team. Do a disc profile. Have that person do a disc profile and decide what personality type you really need for that job. If it's mostly administrative, it might be an S or a C that would be very good. If you want somebody to go out and work with buyers and serve, it might be an S or an I that's very good. The team leaders usually have some very strong qualities in the D category. And they have to be charismatic people because that's how they became so successful in real estate, but they're also very organized. Now, I've seen analyticals also make great team leaders. So it doesn't necessarily, but you want to see the qualities of each person that you're going to put on your team. And you want to interview them, make sure their families are supportive of what they're doing, because that's important too. So I've talked a lot about teams today, and there's so much more to talk about. But if you have questions, if you want to put them in the comments section below, we own a large brokerage. We've seen a lot of teams, and we've seen a lot of teams do very well, and we've seen a lot of teams have a few disasters. So based on our experience and our study of the teams in the market, if you'd like some help, just put in the comments below, and I'll be happy to respond. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you'll keep watching my videos. And this is the first time I'm going to say, please subscribe and push the notification button. That's that little bell that turns blue when you push it below, because I would like to keep bringing you great videos. Thank you so much. Have a great day.